Hello and good morning. This is Andy McCann coming to you from Woodstock, Georgia, where I own a CrossFit Garage. And on this podcast, I'm trying to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finance. And today, we're going over finances. We hit that every once in a while. It's super important, but I don't know. The other stuff comes up a lot more because of the gym. So there are 5 pillars to longevity. Really, there's a 6th one, but I don't get to talk about it much, and that's today. So the 5 pillars are how you eat, sleep, move, think, and connect. So we're going to work on all those. We talk about those a lot. This right here is the 6th one. It's your money. If you don't have wealth, then if you do live for a long time, you're just a burden on the people that love you or hate you, I don't know. And so you want to have money. So we're going to talk through some things. I pulled some pictures, memes, or whatever off the internet, and this stuff really isn't that complicated. It's just you have to defeat your bad habits. And we're going to talk first on habits, and then I'll go through a couple of these. I'll probably make this a 2-parter, maybe a 3-parter. But I just want you guys to understand that, yes, it is true. Most of you are screwed. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. They say 50% of the world is in debt to the other 50%. So chances are you're right? 50% of you're in debt. You're the one in debt. How do you get out of that? Well, you can, but if you don't do anything, yeah, you're screwed. So is it possible? Yes, but you have to do stuff. The thing that I follow that has helped me the most, I'll boil it down. There's more than just these things, but here it is. One of the habits, we're going to go over some habits. 2 is getting out of debt. I know you're like, wait, debt could be good. I know. I'm just telling you what I did. And the other is buying assets. So here's the thing. It is biblical principles. Get out of debt, right? The borrower will be slave to the lender, whatever, right? So you get out of debt. And the other is, it talks about, hey, the lady, the biblical woman or whatever goes out and buys a field and does this. Basically, set up assets is what they're trying to say. So there's 2 books that I follow a lot, which is Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the other one is Dave Ramsey's Debt Snowball and other stuff that he does, his financial picture. So get out of debt, buy assets. How do you do that? Yeah, you kind of have to have money. So if you're not having money, you need to go get that. How do you get that? Man, there's other podcasts on that I did. But biggest thing is use your brain and try to take the things that you enjoy and be part of them so that they move from a cost to a benefit. An example could be like this. Jamie and Jordan both enjoy CrossFit. One day they were like, hey, I think I would like to coach this. I'm like, yeah, you can do that. So instead of paying for the gym, they now coach and I pay them for the gym, right? So yes, they have to donate some time, but they enjoy it, right? So it's not a burden. It's something that they enjoy. They enjoy teaching people. They are good folks that enjoy delivering into people, so it fits them very well. Now, I'm not saying everyone should do that. If everyone tried to do that, I would be out of business, so don't do that. I need people that want to be members, because without members, there isn't a gym. So somebody asked me a while ago, why don't you do discounts and all that? Because everyone that's in the gym needs to be paying, otherwise we're screwed. So I don't price it such that I don't know, we can do discount. Everyone pays the same thing, so every slot is accounted for, and there's a number we have to hit. Anyway, so the habits that highly productive people do with money, this is how to get the money, and then we're going to go into some more of the pieces of money. I need to pause you guys and go get more hot coffee. I'll be right back. Man, I love technology. So what for you was a brief second, for me was like 10 minutes. So here we go. First habit. Well, and these aren't necessarily in order. What I would always say is attack the thing that is the worst for you. And if you're unsure, ask your spouse. They will totally tell you, or ask a friend. Okay, so remove the unimportant and focus on the important. Yeah, this is completely true. The one place that I would say maybe not is if you're working on like connection. If you're working on a thing, then sometimes the unimportant is actually super important. So you need to really kind of be judicious in that. Now, what I would say is totally unimportant is like social scrolling. Now, I use social media for the gym and podcasting and some other stuff that I do. So I use that as the brand new advertisement method. Get your word out, live the life. So I am a carnivore, CrossFitting, adventure racing, D&D playing person, whatever. And I throw that out to the world and say, if you're interested in any of these things, come join us. The things that I do, the gym and so forth, are very similar to this. come see, come do, right? I have chickens. Why? Because I want to eat healthy. So I'm living the life, proving to you through social media that my social cred is up because I actually live that life, right? Okay, so what would I remove? Now, I have chickens because I want a better product. I want eggs that I know what's been in them. So seriously, I eat the freshest eggs on the planet because they pop them out and I eat them within a day or two, right? Now, is it important that I do it? Not really. Does it take up a lot of time? Not really. But maybe I shouldn't be doing it. There are people down the street that produce eggs, and I know the chore to it. So selling eggs for, I don't know, like $10 a dozen is actually still a loss leader for me. I'm losing money. So that's why I don't sell them. I'm like, I will give them away because it's a gift and I love you, here you go. But I don't sell them because there's no fair price for it. You would need to pay me like $20. So what I would do is take that $20 and give it to the person down the street and say, hey, I'm going to pay you $20 for a dozen of eggs or 2 dozen eggs. They would be, or I'll pay you $40 for 2 dozen eggs, right? They would be super happy because someone's buying their eggs and I'm getting what I want, which is eggs from chickens that are, locally produced. Now, it would be questionable, like, are they free range like mine and so forth. So there would be some questions in it. But I could remove that from my life, gain back 10 minutes a day. So is it worth it? Maybe, I don't know. But those are the things you need to look at. What else could I remove from my life? I don't like doing bookkeeping or taxes. So I hired a professional. This is one reason you hired professionals. I have a friend, Lauren, who's saying her husband would like to do carnivore. And I said, yeah, you can just log your food and, do it that way. It's a great way to study and learn. But really, if you want to do carnivore correctly or any food nutrition correctly, hire a mentor. We've got Josiah and Jennifer here at the gym. You could hire either one of them. And she's in Athens, right? So yeah, she could she could get online and do that. Nutrition is something that is very easily done over the web. You do not have to be in person. Coaching someone through sport or through movement, yeah, you kind of got to be in person. All right, next one. Work on the 80-20. Or the 80-20 rule. What does that mean? So they say 80% of your customers, 80% of the work comes from 20% of your customers, right? So there are some customers that are tough to deal with. 80% of the chores I have come from 20% of the other things that I own, right? So there's this 80-20 rule, and you want to figure out what is delivering to you and what isn't. So as an example, using the gym as this example, this is an easy one. They say that attendance is two things. The number one predictor of your success for your health and fitness. So if you showed up to do a thing, you're going to be healthier and fitter. Yep. And it's also a predictor for me as a business if you're going to stay with us long term. So it is to my advantage to get on you when you don't show up. So I could do a thing where if you don't show up, I text you. I hate that. That takes a lot of time. It's draining. It's a lot of work. And pretty much nobody, except for one person, has ever said thank you for that. On the flip side, we have the committed board. So now I'm saying I want to tell the people that make me do a little bit. So 80% of the people only require 20% of the work. I'm going to use them. So here's your name on the committed board. All I have to do is pull up the report, write it there, and then send a picture, say, thank you guys, you're doing well. And so I get to do less work, but impact more people. And it's the people that I want to impact. So which side of the equation I want to be on? Do I want to go after the people who don't show up, or do I want to go after and reward the people that do show up? So for me, I like to reward the action that you're getting, not reward the punishment side of it. So I just don't like that. If you don't want to show up, you don't want to show up. You're an adult, whatever, right? So 80-20. 80% of the stuff you have to do is usually produced by 20% of the other thing. Look at your life and see where it's at. Now, some of them it's unavoidable. I've got children. They produce 80% of my work, where they did at one point. I'm not going to get rid of them, but you have to go through your own life and figure out what means, where that rule fits in for you. Take strategic breaks. Now, I'm going to say, they used to say, like if you're looking at my screen right now, I'm sure I'm giving some of you guys a shock. The window that's up has maybe 20 tabs open. I have a whole other screen over here that has another 10 tabs open. I have a lot of tabs open. I like to be able to go there, and I don't want to pull them back up. I want them to be there. You have to have a lot of RAM in your computer to make that work. People's brains do not work this way. Do not tabify. They say it is better to chunk your time. Do this thing and do this thing only. So when you're doing that, there are saying also, when you move from event to event, item to item, take a break, whatever it might be. Stand up, stretch, do a thing. You need to figure out what your breaks are, but be strategic about them. If you just let yourself wallow in, I'm gonna do all this work, and then you distract yourself, that's not good. Dial in, what do the kids say now? Get locked in and get that junk done, and then break. So I actually will schedule, if I pulled up my Google Calendar, you're gonna see where I schedule block all my time, and I will put in there like workout. These are my breaks and so forth. So you should do that for yourself. Make sure you schedule not just the work, but also how often am I going to break? One of my buddies, Cam, we were back at Georgia Tech. His break was eating an Oreo cookie, or maybe it was Chips Ahoy. It was one of them. So every time he did a chemical or chemistry problem, he would then break and eat a cookie. I'm like, I love it. There's a reward for the action that you did. So beautiful. Do stuff like that. All right. Remove distractions. Things that limit your productivity. Some distractions are good, and if you use them in a timely manner, they can be okay. But if I've got my phone near me all the time and I know I just can't help, it's going to go bing, and I'm going to try to go flick, and I'm going to be like, oh, let me dial in, and I'm going to move over, distract myself, and try this thing. That's a problem. If you have your computer up and you know that I'm going to jump into a computer game, then have a second computer so that you just don't do it, or get a laptop that won't play games, right? So don't distract yourself, and remove the distractions from you. Delete phone numbers out of your contact database. If you can't actually remember it, then you can't call them, and put that number somewhere else. Delete friends from your life that don't align with the things you're doing. The distraction is usually you, and it's like, hey, I kind of enjoy it, or I just really want to waste time. Procrastination is your enemy. Don't do that. Oh, this dovetails nicely into this one. Habit number 5 is set a timeline. That's what, in the Google Calendar, I have these all my junk blocked up. It's a timeline, time frame for things I need to do. If you have a larger project, for example, we've got a project of this True Challenge, the competition that we're doing on October 18th. I need certain things to be done, so I set timelines and I put them in my Google Calendar so that I know, like, I need to order 2 more porta potties. Super simple to do. I just need to go and find the email from the other guy that I did it with and just say, hey, I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah, right? But if I don't put it in there and say, be done by this date, then it may not get done. So set realistic timelines for yourself, and it goes into like those SMART goals. It's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So if you want to fight procrastination, put a timeline or a time domain on it. Okay. This next one, habit number 6, create your flow environment. I don't know about that. So what they're saying in flow is this. There are times, for me, it's usually when I'm playing a computer game, but it just doesn't feel like work. Sometimes, like when I was back in the sales gig, or like sometimes when I do this job and like texting out to people, I use my phone to text out to everybody, and I will just get into the groove. And I'll look down at the clock and be like, wow, I just passed like 2 hours of texting people. That's an extreme example. Maybe it's an hour. And it just didn't feel like it took that much time. Or I'm playing a computer game and the keystrokes are just hitting exactly correctly. Or we're in an adventure race and I just feel like in the zone for the map. I'm like, wow, the topo really is speaking to me. And I know where we are and I know the direction. I've counted my steps. I don't know. You just get to a place that's like, all the stars have aligned. That's your flow state. It's super easy. You're incredibly good. And people are like, wow, what just happened there? It's hard, in my opinion, to intentionally create that. I have an environment that I feel like is good for me, and I don't feel flow all the time. I think most of it is I potentially take a break at the wrong time, or no breaks at all. I don't know what the secret is, but there is a place of a flow state where you're getting things done, and it's just awesome. I know where it's not. If I'm super sleepy, tired, or starving, that is not flow state. So I can fix those things pretty easily. All right, another one. I'm not sure about this one right here, but I do like the idea of it. They say use time pockets. I'm going to change the wording and use time blocks. So like I said, on the Google Calendar, I block everything. Any action that I know I have to take goes in the calendar and has a spot. Now, that doesn't mean that everything in my life is blocked and calendarized out. Like right now, I'm doing this podcast. I just have in there podcast. I didn't specifically say what it was going to be, and I might run over, and that's okay. I didn't the day before say develop an outline, so there's things that have to come up. I also didn't tell myself to pay my taxes or whatever, right? So not everything is in there, and usually between the hours of 8 and 5, I'm doing some sort of work, and that just goes without saying, right? There's emails that come up and all that. But if you pocket the things that you know you have to do, and you time it to say, hey, it takes me about 30 minutes to do this thing, then block 30 minutes in. Now, I sometimes block an extra few minutes because if I run over, I don't want to screw up the next thing, and I stack everything together. The other way to do it is to block the actual time and give yourself a little bit of break between each one, and that would be a good time pocket. All right, last one, and I love this, is automate. I don't actually automate very much. Wodify allows me to do some amount of automation for you guys, and at 100 people doing text and just keeping up with all your stuff, I just literally can't do it. I'm not savvy enough to have a spreadsheet and to go and check everything. It would probably take me, it would probably add like at least 2 hours a day to what I would need to do to actually go through and track everybody's everything. This is why we have a process. If you log in when you come to work out, it starts the automation and helps me tremendously. So if you're not logging in, it breaks the system, and I'm like, well, whatever. If you don't care, I don't care, so that's just fine. We're just agreeing to not care. But automation in terms of a workflow, or another good one is like I'll have Wodify set tasks for me, so it knows, hey, it's your 60-day, I should reach back out to you. Yes, I want to, but did I remember it was your 60-day? No. Especially at almost 52, time is very weird for me. It feels like yesterday, or it felt like last year. I don't know. And so it's a weird thing that time is more nebulous now that there's more under my belt. And that's just the way it is. Okay, so those are some of the habits that you can use. This next bit I want to go over is one of the guys, Money Guy. He said these are 3 levels of financial understanding and where you are in this. It covers debt, spending, investing in your portfolio, and then it says you're a beginner, a learner, and a master. I'm going to tell you that I disagree with what he came up with, but that's me. You do you, because, man, it's your life. I'm just going to walk you through this and give you my experiences. Okay, so the first one is debt. The beginner says debt is dangerous, avoid it. I disagree with that completely. I think debt is dangerous, and while you should use it, you should actively try to crush the crap out of it. That's not what he exactly said, but, right? So the next one is the learner, so the middle ground is debt is a needed evil, limited. Yes, I agree with that one. It is, I wouldn't say it's an evil, it's a needed tool to get me where I want to go. And I don't want to limit my debt, but I want to nail down the debt. So again, I'm going to change it a little bit. And that's for me. We don't have a lot, but what we do have, we worked really hard to pay down, at least in this rental business. And so it becomes very beneficial to me and super secure. So for me, risk, and my wife, risk is the big thing. We don't want something to come surprise us that we didn't really understand or know or to think about was going to come and then ruin everything, which, if you ask Dave Ramsey, is a thing. Which, if you ask everyone who went through COVID with a business, is a real damn thing. No one expected that. Now, for the gym, I had been saving up cash, so when it was there, I was like, hey, we have some cash on hand. I can do some things. Let's keep this alive. For the rental property, we were stable. For the gym, we were stable. Debt can be a vehicle to grow, but it also opens up your exposure dramatically. So they say the master is, debt can be a tool, use it right. Yes, it can be a tool, use it right. I do agree with that. So I guess maybe I do say I like what he's saying. I just would add in there, smash it down ruthlessly. They just don't say that. Okay, spending. This is something that I'm trying to teach my kids big time. You can outspend your earning and your hose. 50% of the world's in debt to the other 50%. And it's due to your spending. Stop spending. If you didn't spend, right? Figure out what you want to spend for and go for that. So a great example. One of our members this morning, unsolicited, sent a text, said, Andy, thank you for what you guys have built here at the garage. It has been helpful in so many ways. Y'all have impacted my life tremendously. Something like that. Wow. Right? Does he want to spend his money here? Yes. 1, he's getting fitness. 2, he's getting community. 3, it's mindset. 4, it's a reset, right? He's getting all those things, maybe even from the habits above. Spend your money on the things that propel you, motivate you, launch into your life, that invest into your life. And this is one of those things. Okay, so what does it say on spending? Take what you earn, spend less. I mean, true. Yep, that's the beginner. The learner, the middle step is create more margin in your budget. Yes. So have a budget. We use something called YNAB. You need a budget now. YNAB, you need a budget. That's it. You need a budget. And we track everything. We import it all in, and I go through it, and I'm making the kids do it, and the only way they get an allowance is if they do their YNAB. This is letting them understand their spending, and there's an option to create a budget, which I don't make them do, but it's in there. They say the master is, your habits are built. Automate. That's true, your habits are built. Automate, I don't know exactly what that means. Your spending, automate your spending, I don't like that. So, for example, one of the kids is not great with the subscriptions. I'm like, dude, do you see what you're doing? They're like, it's just $5. That's what they want you to say. It's just $5. They know the limit of the thing that'll let you do. It's like in a big Globo gym, the membership for a Globo gym is like, I don't know, $50. But if you want to quit, they're going to say, look, we'll grandfather you in with your rate. Just pay us $5 a month and you won't be a member, but it'll save your rate. So when you come back, you'll still have it. People do that. They pay $5 for 10 years and they forget that they're paying for it. It's the dumbest thing, but they do that. So on the spending, I would totally tell you, spend less. Understand where your money is going. Track that. Next one is investing. I am not great here. I followed Dave Ramsey and Robert Kiyosaki. In investing, my advice is to hire a professional. Hire Aaron Vincent and all those guys from Vincent Financial or somebody else. Let them do it for you. I've seen in my life with friends around me, my dad, just emotional investing, and it can get you and it ruins you. Okay, so they say investing, the beginner. Learn the power, start. Yes, well, I would agree. Find some way to start and invest with somebody. Everyone should be investing part of the money that they bring in. I guess he didn't have anything about income. I wish he would have put something on their income. Anyway, the middle level is strive for more, reach 25%. So they're saying invest 25% of what you bring in. Hey, I love that. I think one of the best things you could ever do is the book that the local guy wrote about the graduation speech. Figure out what you're spending, and when you go get your first real job, that paycheck is going to be kick butt. Just live on 50%. Take the other 50%, invest, set it aside, do those things, but live on 50%. I think he says 70%. If you learn to live little, you'll crush it, but that goes back to spending, right? Okay, investing, it says know your number, achieve it. Man, that right there, if you know your number, I am 50. My friends are 50. We're talking about retirement. Most of them talk about retirement in the dumbest of ways. And I'm not the guy to educate them because I don't really know much about investing. But I know the questions they're asking, and they're asking the wrong ones. So, like if you listen to Aaron Vincent and Matt Decker's podcast, they're going to tell you some like things to think on. And I've asked them, and they're like, no, what does that mean? I'm like, if you guys don't even know, you should hire somebody, hire a mentor, because they don't know what they don't know. So in investing and you want to be a master, I would hire the master. Shortcut the process because you are not going to become the master. There are literally companies that move next to like the stock exchange and then buy fiber optic links so that the time domain for them to make a trade is slightly ahead of you. This is cheating. If they can trade slightly ahead of you, think about it like football. If a guy was able to watch the game slightly ahead of you and they knew your plays, they would crush you. And that's what they do. They crush us. BlackRock crushes us because, or whatever it's called, BlackRock? Is it BlackRock? Blackwater? I don't know. Blackwater? It's something. They crush us because they're slightly ahead of us in time, or we're slightly behind, or whatever. So what I'm getting over the internet is slower, thus behind, than them. They're the experts. We will never compete with people like that. So find somebody that's already on the track and they're ahead of you. Just like with Aaron and his folks. They know because this is what they do. Okay, your portfolio. I do like this one. Keep it simple and automate. I don't know about the automate, but I would do keep it simple. If you're not going to do anything else, invest in the, what do they call that? No load, no commission, tracking funds, so it just follows the NASDAQ. That's what I would do. I mean, I'm not an expert. Don't listen to me. But that's what I would do. If I was going to do one thing, I'd be like, just put it in there and let it go. Because the S&P and all that over time crushes. And I think it's maybe 15 companies that are actually doing all of the work. Look at that little spider living here in my office. So it's like 10 companies that do all the work and the other ones suck. So invest in those 10 companies. But I don't really know. I would rely on a professional for that. Middle one for the portfolio is learn the 3 buckets and fill them. Yeah, that's a whole different principle. Again, this is the one area I would say increase your financial literacy, but don't become the professional here. You have a different job. Your job is making the money, stop spending the money, and follow your budget. I would say the investing in the portfolio is somebody else, the money guy or Aaron, Vincent, and those guys. I would just find someone that you know, like, and trust. If you have nobody, let me know. I have people I can recommend, and you can choose from like 5 different people that I know that are in this business. And then the master for portfolio says optimize, strategize, keep focused. That's just the game for this is so big. You're outside of your league, and they hope that you get in so that they can take your money and invest against you. That's what it is. So if I buy a stock, they sold a stock. Who was right? Are they taking their profits and now I'm giving them the profits? Is it going down? I don't know. You should do all this research. They follow trend lines and all this. Like, it's just, the science behind it is so baffling and dumb. I don't. I just give it to somebody else. Now, on the flip side, maybe use ChatGPT or something like that. Maybe that would give you better advice for you and what you want to do locally. But for those 2, I would totally find somebody. All right, I think I'm going to stop it there. I'm just going to give you a preview of the next couple ones I'll do. So what school won't teach you is the poor, middle class, and the rich, and what they do with their income and their salary. This is actually very fascinating, and it blew me away when I learned this. And I'm going to give that to you and talk about how we applied it in our life. Basically, it's Robert Kiyosaki's, buy assets. There's another one, Why the Rich Grow Richer. We'll go over this one. A map of investments, we'll walk you through that. I'm going to give you some of the no-brainers and some other options that people in the gym are using for other investments outside of their income. There's a path of money. This is a good one. And then salary negotiation. So there's some stories to go into this guy that we'll go through. So those will be the slides that will go through the next time. I'll probably do this in a couple weeks. All right, guys. If you need help in your health and fitness, I am your guy. If you want to talk finances, sure, I'm happy to talk with you. I am not an expert by any means. I'm just a guy I'm an unfrozen caveman lawyer that happened to luck out finding 2 principles, Dave Ramsey and Robert Kiyosaki, and it just so happened that those things are good that any idiot can follow, and I am that idiot. If you want real advice, Aaron Vincent is our local guy. Talk to them, all of his guys, right? If you want ideas on your business, yes, I can do that. I've helped a lot of people. I am an entrepreneur, maybe not the best. I've made a lot of mistakes, but sometimes just having a sounding board. I met with one of his guys and we asked him questions, and then he turned it around and went back to the job, and I think grew the business from like closing 2 out of 10 people to closing 8 out of 10 people, or at least making him close to the next step. And it was just bouncing ideas across. I didn't really give him anything awesome. It was him just saying the words until it came out and was like, oh, it's this, right? Sometimes having that somewhat wise-ish, springboard or wall to whatever bouncing's off of is good. So if you need that, I'm happy to do it. Best in person, sit down for coffee or whatever. If you're a member, I'm happy to help. If you're not a member, become a member. I'm happy to help. All right, guys. Hey, this is Andy McCann with CrossFit Garage and Fitness, Food, and Finances, trying to help you lay a firm foundation in those things. It doesn't always have to be about fitness, but it should be. Fitting this pizza in my mouth or fitting this investment portfolio into my wallet. Y'all take care.